In the middle of the street, you see the bus.
Cool, so yeah, feel free to just, you don't have to hang out with us or anything, have a nice day.
Have a nice day.
Yeah.
Thank you. interesting, but I'd like to point out that we're not professional guides on either side of the vessel. We have to point out it's known as the London Eye, 440 feet high, 32 capsules on the wheel, each one capable of taking 28 people. It's been a big success and it's sponsored by Coca-Cola. To our left, along to the embankment wall, we have a tall stone column. This is the Cleopatra's Needle. This was presented to this country in 1819 by the Egyptian government following the defeat of the French by Lord Nelson at the Battle of the Nile. Now it is over 3,000 years old. That makes it older than London itself, and it is one of a pair, the twin. It stands in Central Park, New York City. Cleopatra's Needle. To your left, the next bridge is the Waterloo Road Bridge, opened in 1942, built of reinforced concrete, but it is faced with a very expensive Portland stone. That's a stone that doesn't need any cleaning. Whenever there's a downpour of rain, such as now, it self-cleans this bridge. Also, whilst building the bridge during the war years, male labour being scarce, they built the bridge mainly with female labour. It is known on the Thames as the Ladies' Bridge. When we go through the bridge, to your right, the concrete building with the advertising in lights. This is the National Theatre, opened in 1978 by Her Majesty the Queen. Now it has 3 auditoriums. There's also bars, restaurants and exhibitions all within the complex. Now Prince Charles, I don't know whether you know this, but Prince Charles is very interested in architecture, but he doesn't like that modern type there to your right, because when he first saw that building, he said it's a very clever way of disguising a nuclear power station in the centre of London. He also said it's probably the most ugliest looking building that he's ever seen. And if anyone knows anything about ugliness, well then he does. He don't like those ugly buildings, and that's the National Theatre there to your left. And that's the Wellington there to your left. Just behind the stern end of the Wellington, on the embankment wall there, you can see an archway. That's Temple Arch, and it is a boundary line separating 2 cities. The city of Westminster, which we're now going to leave, and the city of London, in which we'll enter. And as a point of interest, the city of London is one of the smallest cities in the world. It's only 1 square mile. And that's the Temple Arch. Just past the stern end of the Wellington there to your left. If you look at the face of that building, in between the arch windows, there are 4 statues. They're of Newton, Bacon, Shakespeare and Sir Isaac Newton, which are 4 of this country's most famous scholars. And the last building, the semi-circular building on the corner, that's Unilever House, which is the headquarters of Lever Brothers, which is the giant soap and the detergent manufacturers. So that's the 3 buildings here, and to our left. The next bridge is the Blackfriars Road Bridge, opened in 1869 by Queen Victoria. It gets its name from the Blackfriars Monastery, which once stood on the left-hand bank. The monks used to wear black habits, hence the name Blackfriars. And that was followed at one time by the St Paul's Railway Bridge. You see the round red supports as we go through. The top half of the bridge, you notice, has been demolished. The reason for this is the amount of modern day trains that once went across the bridge, it became unsafe, so they took the top half down. It was the first railway bridge to span the Thames. So in 1864, and designed by the famous engineer Isabel Kingdom Brunel. The last bridge in the group of 3 is the Blackfriars Railway Bridge. What they've done to this bridge, they've actually built the station across the bridge. It's the only bridge on the Thames to have that done to it. And the reason why they've done that is so they've got access to the station on either side of the river. Masterpiece. Now St Paul's, it took 35 years to build. It was completed in 1710 at the cost of £75,000. It stands 365 feet high, which is 1 foot for each day of the year. And the dome is the second largest unsupported cathedral dome in Europe. The largest is of St Peter's in Rome. Now there are many famous people entombed in St Paul's, including the Duke of Wellington, Lord Nelson, and the architect himself, Sir Christopher Wren. And that is there to your left, as I said, it is considered by most people as Wren's masterpiece, St Paul's Cathedral. The next bridge is the newest bridge to span the Thames. This is the Millennium Footbridge. This was opened in the year 2000. When we go through the bridge, to your right, there's a white wooden structure there with a thatched roof. And what they've done here, they've built what they believe was a replica of Shakespeare's Globe Theatre, because it was along this shore during the days of Shakespeare where the entertaining part of London was. A bit like the West End of today, but also over there you had bear baiting pits, there was cockfighting pits, all the houses and dens of ill repute, the red light district. And if you look at the right hand corner of the bridge, there's a pub there called the Anchor of Bankside. There is the second anchor to stand on that side, and it was the original where Shakespeare used parts of as a dressing room whilst he was performing in the Globe Theatre, which stood, as you know, somewhere nearby. For some unknown reason, the Globe didn't have dressing rooms, so it used parts of the original anchor. And it does have a restaurant there, and that's the anchor over there to your right. Of North Devon, and on her maiden voyage she took the same course that Crete took, so she's also circumnavigated the globe. Now she is in wet dock there, and she is open to the public. As I said, it is the fourth, opened in 1973 by Her Majesty the Queen. The famous London Road Bridge that we're now going beneath. And when we go through the bridge, very quickly to your left, look between the gaps in the buildings, we have here a tall stone white column with a golden figure on top. This is Sir Christopher Wren's monument, which is built in commemoration to the Great Fire of London of 1666. Now the golden figure on top is to represent flame, and the monument it has been built to represent the candle, because it has been said that it could have been a candle that started the fire. Now just about to go behind the buildings down there to your left, Sir Christopher Wren's monument to the Great Fire of London. And during the Second World War, she took part and she helped to sink the German battle cruiser, the Shambles. The bus carving out into your right. But across the again to your left hand side, you've got one of London's most visited tourist attractions. You've got the Tower of London. The centre part, where you can see the flagpole and the four towers, that part is known as the Norman Keep, and that is the part that William the Conqueror commenced. In front of the tower, onto the impactful wall, you'll be able to see a bricked up archway and written on top, it's entry to the Traitors' Gate, in which years ago traitors were taken by into the tower for imprisonment. The lower part can be raised and lowered to allow tall ships into the upper port of London. Now it is raised in just a few minutes. Each of these spans weigh 1,100 tons. The top two spans, these are known as catwalks, but they were closed at the turn of the century owing to a very high suicide rate. And every open both of them as museums. They've been closed since, so they're quite safe. The supports of the bridge to your left and right are not as strong as they look. So that's the mechanism. The bridge has been 94 by Sir John Wolfe Barrett. And that's the famous Tower Bridge that we have just passed beneath. Oh, we're turning round there, ladies and gentlemen. We've got stop a short stop here. My line there's the church steeple. This is St Mary's Church of Rotherhithe, and it's in the graveyard of that church where the captain of the pilgrim ship, the Mayflower, the Captain Christopher Jones, lies. Because it was from this part of the Thames that the Mayflower set sail around to Plymouth with the Pilgrim Fathers before they set sail to find the new world of America, which later became the United States of America. Most of the crew came from this area of Rotherhithe itself. But the pub is unique because it is licensed to sell American and British postage stamps, and it was given that concession to recognise American and Anglo relations. It's only a small pub, but it does have a restaurant here for about 30 people. Let's see all those tall buildings. That's the Canary Wharf complex. I'll be speaking about that very shortly. But it's to your right at the moment. When we actually pass those buildings, they'll be to our left. And that should give you some idea of how the river twists and turns. But back here to our left, we've got probably the most famous of the Thames pubs in the London area, that is. It's that white building there. It's called the Prospect of Whitby, which gets its name from the Whitby coaling fleet used to anchor at this point at one time. The pub was frequently used by the crews of the ships, so they renamed the pub the Prospects of Whitby. Now the original name was the Devil's Punch Bowl, but it was also frequently used by pirates as well. And it has been said that the famous pirate, Captain Kidd, was captured there in the Prospects. It's also where Colonel Blood was captured. He was the man responsible for stealing the crown jewels back in the reign of Charles II. Now it is quite a well-known tourist attraction. There is a restaurant there and it's in the area of Wick. And that's the Prospect of Whitby, slightly behind now to our left, and also come up here to your left, the red brick building. Now these are luxury apartments, but they stand on the site of Free Trade Walk. Now Free Trade Walk gets its name dating back to the Plague of London of 1665. Because during the plague, the only ships which would come this far up the Thames was Dutch ships. And this is where most of them used to come to. All up the coast. There's Barclays, there's NatWest, all the main banks are over there. There's also a sports complex over there with swimming pool and so on. Additional fare of £2.50 per head, per adult, that is.
How's your video? Taking pictures for your son. Oh. Sorry.
definitely gone to other way.
It's a hydroponic growing medium instead of using soil, but it tells you when to water your plants. So as it's going down, it's telling you to water me. That is 3.5 months without water. So when it's 3.5 months, you put the water to the top and it swells back up.
That's brilliant. Do you have to replace the gel
Every 5 years.
every 5 years?
5 years.
Yeah.
And I'm the only man in the world that makes it. Yes, there is a Chinese copy made of silicon, which is poisonous. This is not toxic. And I'll prove the point.
Don't eat it, please.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm just kidding. There you are. Right, it's purely non-toxic, and I am the only man in the world that makes it. But you can only buy either the pouches or the gel when you see it. I'm not from here. The Lake District. Right up north.
What is that?
It's okay.